श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। कृष्णं वन्दे मन्तपाशधरं दिव्यर्बकाकृतिं शिखाबन्धत्रयोपेतं भैष्मीमद्वकरार्चितं। Topic of discussion: Brahmatya dosha for Indra. Let's run through the summary. After killing Vishwarupa by chopping off his 3 heads, Indra, cordially accepting Brahmatya dosha, divides it into 4 parts. Indra then distributes it to soil, water, trees and women to overcome or to set himself free from Brahmatya dosha. This is a part of Vishwarupa's story from Srimad Bhagavata Purana. Fault or sin distributed to soil is Ushara Savalu. Fault or sin distributed to water is Budbuda Pena. Fault or sin distributed to tree is Sravike Hunnu. Fault or sin distributed to woman is Rajaswale. Now let's delve into the scientific interpretation of Indra's Brahmatya dosha, Indra's faults or sins. Fault or sin distributed to soil is Ushara Savalu. Ushara means saline or acidic soil. Savalu means failure or contaminated soil. Harmful bacteria grow in acidic or saline condition of soil. Example: Clostridium botulinum, a gram-positive bacteria. Botulism is rare but serious illness caused by a toxin that attacks the body's nerves and causes breathing difficulties, muscle paralysis, and even death. Contaminated soil contains harmful microorganisms which are capable of causing diseases in humans. They either act as opportunistic pathogens or as obligate pathogens. Opportunistic pathogens take advantage of susceptible individuals, those are immunocompromised. Obligate pathogens must infect humans to complete their life cycle. These organisms infect humans, those who comes in contact with contaminated soil. Few of the soil pathogens are antibiotic resistant and hence prevention is better than cure. Anthrax, mucormycosis or black fungus are few examples of soil-borne diseases. In addition to tetanus, botulism and anthrax, soil pathogens may cause gastrointestinal and respiratory diseases. These infections are particularly life-threatening for those with compromised immune systems. For all such reasons, it is advised to be away from saline and contaminated soil. As explained in Purana, the essence of keeping away from soil with Brahmatya dosha is to distance out from saline and contaminated soil as advised by modern science to stay away from harmful pathogens. Fault or sin distributed to water is Budbuda Pena. Budbuda Pena means foam, froth or scum. Cyanobacteria are the largest and most important group of bacteria on earth, which are mostly aquatic. Cyanobacteria are gram-negative bacteria and few types among them have been identified as toxin producers. Ecologically, there are 3 most important groups of cyanobacteria. First is mat formers that are found as thick layers on rocks, sediments and plants. Second is picocyanobacteria that are found in nutrient poor lakes. And the third is bloom formers that produce toxins and surface scums. The sin distributed by Lord Indra to water is nothing but the third group of cyanobacteria, bloom formers and similar waterborne pathogens. The toxins of bloom former cyanobacteria are microcystin, cylindrospermospin, lipopolysaccharides, nodularins, anatoxin A, anatoxin A-S, saxotoxin, etc. When we drink water containing the toxins of bloom formers, it can affect nervous system, brain, lungs, liver, kidneys, gastrointestinal tract, which includes esophagus, stomach, small intestine, colon. Minimal dermal contact with bloom-former toxins can lead to rashes, allergic reactions, irritations, blisters, etc. People with immune deficiency or with low immune system are advised to stay away from water with bloom-former scum. As explained in Purana, the essence of keeping away from water with Brahmatya dosha is to distance out from water with toxic scum, foam or froth as advised by modern science. Fault or sin distributed to trees is Sravike, Hunnu. Sravike or Hunnu means gummosis, cankers or soft rot. Gummosis, cankers and soft rots are the terms used to describe various bacterial or fungal diseases that cause oozing, exudation of gum, sunken lesions in trees. Cankers caused by fungi Cytospora is so contagious that the instrument used to physically cut the parts of infected tree are advised to sterilize the cutting equipment between each cut even when cutting on the same tree, without which it will spread the fungus rapidly. Candida auris fungi can infect humans and cause serious health problems. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, which causes a type of soft rot in plants and trees, can invade humans, infecting nearly any tissue in the body. This bacterium can turn antibiotic resistant and can cause severe illness. Fungi are opportunistic and will jump to any host that provides welcoming environment, such as immune deficient human body, and hence advised to be far from such tree diseases. As explained in Purana, the essence of keeping away from trees with Brahmatya dosha is to distance out from trees with gummosis, cankers or soft rot, which is also advised by modern science of late. Fault or sin distributed to women is Rajaswale. Rajaswale means menses woman or monthly menstrual cycle of woman. Now we have touched the most controversial subject with respect to science versus scriptures. Ample modern thinkers as well as few researchers think that the guidelines stated in scriptures about menstruating women is unreasonable and unscientific. They feel that women are subject to restrictions in their daily lives just because they are menstruating, and menstruation is ovulation followed by missed chance of pregnancy that results in bleeding. Hence, there is no reason to believe menstruating women as impure. Bhagavata Purana says that the sin of Lord Indra was divided and distributed to sand, water, trees and women. We have seen the effects of pathogens on soil, water and trees. We have also understood why scriptures guides us to be far from these three elements when they are contaminated. Now let us understand why menses woman is advised to be isolated. Rather than being a means of ridding the uterus bacteria, menstruation is likely to be the time of greatest bacterial contamination. This occurs for two reasons. First, when the mucus barrier in the cervix is lost during menses, the bacteria that lives in the cervical canal and vagina may gain access to the uterus and upper genital tract. Second, the menstrual blood and debris are flushed down into vagina and also upward into fallopian tubes and pelvic cavity. The above points explain the possibility of infection spreading from menses woman to others if she is in social contact during those days. Is this the only reason to isolate a woman during her menses? Definitely not. Let us move a bit in detail to understand the insight of our scriptures. Vaginal cells are stimulated to accumulate increased amount of glycogen. Glycogen through glycogenesis is metabolized to pyruvic acid, which is converted to lactic acid by anaerobic metabolism. This process is carried out by the predominant vaginal microorganism called Doderlein's lactobacillus, which reduces the vaginal pH value less than 7 to make it acidic in nature. That means with the presence of Doderlein's lactobacillus, vaginal pH value is less than 7. pH value equal to 7 is neutral, less than 7 is acidic, and more than 7 is alkaline. The vaginal pH fluctuates from 3.8 to 4.5 and is classified as moderately acidic. This acidic environment protects the vagina from pathogenic microorganisms because most of the bacteria grow best at a pH of about 5 and more. Lactobacilli also protects the vagina by competing with other bacteria. The vaginal pH increases up to 7.5 or more during menses because blood is alkaline with pH value more than 7 and up to 7.5. This variation in vaginal pH diminish the vaginal defense and increase its susceptibility to infections, which can cause major issues ranging from serious illness to infertility. If a woman is made to work during her menses, her menstrual health management should be very good by cleaning her vagina frequently. During her daily routine work like cleaning, cooking, etc., she comes in constant touch with sand, water and wood. This can turn as highest risk when she comes in contact with pathogenic contaminated sand, water, wood. Apart from the contaminated elements, the infection can also reach her through family members and others who could have been in contact with contaminated elements and remain as asymptomatic. They may not be affected by the infection due to their intact immune system, but can still transfer the pathogens to menses women, and being in the decreased defense state, she is at utmost risk of being infected. Primarily, she is susceptible to infection, and secondarily, she can spread infection. Hence, isolating a woman during her menses is not to restrict her. It is indeed to safeguard her from all sorts of risk from pathogenic attack to ensure complete safety and health. The access and availability of menstrual hygiene products to absorb or collect the flow of blood during menstruation, privacy to change the materials, and facilities to dispose used menstrual materials is menstrual hygiene management. As per Purana, isolating menses woman is not only to provide privacy and facility for menstrual hygiene management, but indeed to safeguard her from all sorts of pathogenic infections to ensure complete health and safety. This concern and context not only suffice the objective of menstrual health management as per modern science, but also holds profound science to ensure total health and safety of the society. Above all this, we need to consider at what level Brahmatya dosha is divided and distributed among four. This comes after Brihaspatiacharya's exit and Vishwarupa's killing. Indra is responsible for both. That means the body has lost both innate and adaptive immune response, which are first, second and third line of defense. During this immune deficiency or low immune system, the body is highly susceptible for infections. We will not know when our innate immune response and adaptive immune response fails unless otherwise the pathogens win over all the three lines of defense, causing illness. Hence, it is generally advised to be far from all these possible infectious states, as people with strong immunity can be asymptomatic carriers in the society and those with low immunity will be direct victims. This fantastic story of Purana not only gives us moral lesson, but also reveals profound science related to pathogenic attack from contaminated soil, water, trees, and precise menstrual health management for menses women. When most of the thinkers doubted Puranas, assuming it as meaningless, it was Sri Madhvacharya who explained the sanctity of Puranas through citations in his works. In fact, the works of Sri Vedavyasa stands as citations for the entire gamut of science, provided we interpret and understand them properly. Finally, with prayers to Sri Madhvacharya and his indweller Lord Sri Krishna to bestow the determination and ability to learn more divine engineering within us and around us, I am signing off. Thank you. Krishna Arpanamastu. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum.